Collected Essays of Valerie Lynn Stevens. Notitia Intuitiva on the Inherency of Higher Wisdom within Man. Sometimes we feel the joy well up from deep within, only to just as surely and just as quickly beat down its indomitable flames with the highly flammable encloakments of repression. Of course, succeeding in merely crafting an incendiary device with far more potentially destructive inertial reserves. And the abiding dread of uncertainty which holds us affixed and enthralled by this fire concerns matters which may consume us if we heed them not. For that living Gehenna, stoked by the friction of our resistance to nature and to life's rites of initiation into the metaphysical membership of faith and surrender, is a fire so fierce that it singes either way. But what is it that truly incites the anguish of man? Perhaps it is not the ominous presence of some dark unseen principalities which haunt and plague us so, but rather the undeniable propinquity of the holy and the seraphic. For only the beaming face of love, hope, and all things transcendent, divine, and altogether wholly elusive to the human entity are what rile him to such madness and profligacy. But what of before? And had we an ontological precedent? And will we evolve to some higher ontological antecedent? Had we always the foreknowledge of all matters celestial, hellish, and ecumenical? Is perhaps the mortal's longing for heaven, and his compulsive push towards a hell of his own making, the trailing afterbirth of worlds prior and henceforth? Furthermore, is this proof of the existence of a holy sovereign deity divine? The Platonists exalt the ideal as the assured forerunner of the actual. They believe that if the human imagination and intellect houses such ideals, then surely they must consist of substantiality within some realm. In other words, they believe not only in mind over matter, but mind as the original essence of matter. Nevertheless, in these current incarnations, this analogia entis is the only epistemic access that humankind has to such esoteric ponderings and pontifications. Although these ruminations indeed serve their purpose as well, guiding us with the aid of fantasy and mythos to the sacred temples of our most meritorious and worthwhile endeavors. And truly, perhaps an embrace of a more intuitive faculty need not be viewed with such hostility and suspicion as the most egregious sin committed against the demigods of all scientific inquiry. Indeed, perhaps it, in and of itself, is their Redeemer, their Sovereign, their Messiah. For all that we glimpse upon with the eye of the anatomy and the eye of higher percipience first took seed within the realm of mind and spirit. Moreover, a militant stance of corrosive cynicism merely degenerates into all forms of dehumanism and digression. And as the numinous agencies within man are again neglected and shunned, he forgets his foreknowledge of both the future and the now, leaving him sullen and empty before the crumbling shrine of the false gods and idols of exigency. For the stuff of the ultimate can be attained only through the riches of the inmost self. For the implicate order is the mother and the father of the very universe itself. Nothing explicate possesses true ontological bearing without this genesis. For it bears the seed, pronoia, the forethoughts of God himself. In finale, truly what separates man from the beast is not so much his reasoning faculties, but that of his discernment, or his higher wisdom. For there is knowledge, which is of the lower, earthier, and ecumenical depths, and there is wisdom, which is of the higher realms, a distinction which gets lost so easily amidst the socio-political hubris of human society. Yet perhaps we are here now to learn how to properly honor both our earthly, symbolically denoted mothers and fathers, while also bowing before the altar of the divine or heavenly Father with those offerings which bloom up from within a human soul, sacrificial offerings which we have salvaged from the ruins of this world's enmity. And perhaps in the process of our individual life's lessons, we will someday gaze out upon all the universe, crafted as it is with such splendid architecture, and alas, we'll see not only the imago of our Creator God, but most of all, how equally wondrous and exquisite that of our own.